Okay, just a few things before we get started tonight. These meetings are televised live, so when you approach the podium, please let us know who you are and the business you represent, and please try to talk loud into the microphone. The plans can be laid out at the table next to the podium, and we have kind of a long agenda tonight. We'll try to move it along as quickly as we can. So before we do that, we need to approve the minutes from the last meeting. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to look at them.
Yep.
Move to approve.
Okay.
I second.
Okay.
I second.
Okay, got that, Lisa? Tim? Okay. All right, super. All right, and let's see. Let's get the meeting started. First application tonight is DRB 2024-07, the application of Villanova University at 800 East Lancaster Avenue. Hello, sir.
Hi, my name's David Cease. I'm with D2 Group's Architects, here presenting on behalf of Villanova University. I do not have hard copies. I was hoping to be able to put up on the screen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've reviewed it, so I've reviewed it. Okay.
You can also, in the future, you can give your thumb drive in advance to Ian.
Okay. Apologies for that. So I'll follow through. I assume everybody has the packet.
We'll get you set up here right now.
Okay.
Are these the solar panels? The solar panels, right?
Mm-hmm.
That one right there. Okay.
And they're on Mendel Hall, right? They're putting them on Mendel?
No, this is on Delury.
Delury.
Delury?
Great.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll just run through the packet here quickly. The solar panels that are being proposed are going on the back half of Delury Hall, 800 East Lancaster Avenue, and the plans that you're looking at here are from the Ocean Solar, the solar panel company that is going to be doing the work. These are part of their shop drawings, so you can see how the street, excuse me, the solar panels are, like I said, on the back side of the building relative to the street front. Here's just an enlarged plan. The area where the solar panels are being proposed is a flat roof. So the front part of the building has sloped gabled roofs, but the back part of the building where the panels are going is a flat roof condition that exists today. Here's an enlarged plan of just that back portion. The reason we're including this is because we wanted to make it clear that no panels are going to be within 4 feet of the roof edge, so everything is set back from all four of the roof edges by a minimum of 4 feet. Here's, for reference, just showing a section cut of the actual panels themselves. They will be arrayed in a flat display, so they're not, tilted at a 45-degree angle or anything like that. They're relatively flat with about a maximum height of roughly 10 inches. So that's the presentation, the sort of details of the packet themselves. But what we're showing here in the photos is really the impact to the building. We're expecting none, frankly, because they are flat, because the roof itself is already flat, so it's not a sloped roof. And because of the way that the building sits off the street and these panels being located on the back side of that roof. So here are some photos showing that you're not able to see the top side of the existing roof, and then the diagrams on the side represent just some sight lines to illustrate that the roof edge itself is going to block the view of the solar panels. So we have a couple other photos here and diagrams to illustrate, again, the fact that the profile height of 10 inches is just by virtue of the existing roof configuration going to be screened by the walls and the roof itself.
What about the tree on the southeast corner?
There's no proposed changes to any landscaping or site or anything like that, so everything that we were looking at was existing. I'm not sure.
Not just because I know with solar panels, the south-facing sun is the most important aspect of it, so I didn't know if there was a plan for that tree to eventually get clipped or trimmed or how.
No, right now, there's no plans for anything like that. We didn't design the specifics of like the array and, you know, do the calculations or anything like that. But no, the extent of the proposed work is just the solar panel array. There's no landscaping being proposed as part of this. Again, just for context, wanted to show, you know, how this relates to the surrounding environment here. And it does not want to.
I think you need to update this map for your own records at some point. Those parking lots are no longer there.
Oh, these here. Yeah.
It doesn't affect this application at all,
Right.
but yeah.
And actually, that's it. The reason it's not going any further is because that's the last slide. So I can flip back. We can talk about any of the previous slides, answer any questions. But
I just had a question on the 4-foot setback. Is that a Radnor code requirement, or is that a manufacturer recommendation?
It's just part of the design, partly for safety in with any kind of access or anything like that. But no, there's no code that's driving that. That's just part of the design. Yeah.
Would you be able to furnish real pictures of the actual product?
Actually, yes. I know it wasn't included in the packet, but we do have. So this is on a different project, but from the same solar panel company, same product. You can see that this is basically the same thing that's being proposed for our building. So again, it's a flat display. It's not elevated, and we're expecting and, you know, demonstrating that the roof edge is going to provide the screening from the street.
Is this the first solar panel on a roof that Villanova is doing? As far as I know.
I can't answer that question.
That's what I thought. We haven't seen any before.
What's it contribute to the overall,
Why?
load? I don't know.
Not much? Well, why are you doing it?
Sir, you want to come?
So,
Your name, sir?
part of our green, I'm John with Villanova University, John Camusi. I'm
Thanks,
a
John.
project manager in the facilities department. So we wanted to sort of try this out, and it's a flat roof. It's not really going to contribute much, but we wanted to give it a shot, and this is where we started. We have a lot more larger surface area roofs that we could probably do this on maybe in the future, but this is sort of our first foray into this world, so.
Were they
I didn't
delivered-
know if it was going to do like site lighting or something like that.
No, it's going to be interior stuff, mostly corridor lighting, just, general stuff.
Were th- No. Were they on flatbed trailers, trucks yesterday? Or
No.
Thursday? Oh,
No,
there's
no,
huge
this won't be starting
Something
till
was
the
being
summer,
delivered
so-
that was rather large.
No.
It was huge. It's like, what?
No.
All right. Any other questions from the board? No,
Nope.
Everybody's good? You're good? Okay. Any other questions, sir? Comments, questions?
No other questions or comments from me, no.
Okay. Sharon, you want to take the first one
Oh,
for approval?
yeah. Regarding the application DRB 2024-07 by Villanova University, I move to approve solar panel array installation on roof.
Okay,
Seconded.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, next on tonight's agenda is DRB 2024-08, the application of Villanova University to construct a new library. Want to use a handheld? Would that be easier?
Well, can I start with the
Yeah, sure.
PDF first?
Absolutely.
Thank you. I think I can use this. Is that working?
Yeah, nice and loud.
All right. There we go. Good evening. My name is George DeBregard. I'm from Robert Stern Architects, the architect of the new library for Villanova. And I'm here to review the materials from our application. We have information about all the sections of the application. I'd like to just run through that for you, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So first, to orient you, the library is at the center of the campus. It's the orange element in the center here. The blue, almost rectangle, is the existing library. So we're talking about a building that is on the ellipse at the center of campus, between Core Hall and Connolly Hall, and next to the Connolly Circle. There's the parking garage behind it. And this is the existing building on site. It's the Kennedy Hall, the library. It's currently a building of mostly concrete and very few windows. And we're replacing it, as you can see here in the plan, it's a smaller footprint. So we're replacing it with a larger footprint over an existing parking lot and the footprint of the building. And so in addition to the building materials, we have a change to the landscape in removing the parking and reworking the landscape materials, both plantings and hardscape around the building. To orient you to the project, this is a rendered site plan, also showing the roof. So you can see that the general characteristic of the site is still the same. The large pathway, there's also fire access. Road continues along the north side of the project. We abut on the south the ellipse, and the current stair that sort of forks as it comes down from the ellipse to the Connolly Circle is now being replaced by a single stair. But otherwise, we're bounded by the existing circulation around the campus. One of the things I want to point out here is that on this roof plan, which is actually showing many different layers of roof at the same time, but that we have a significant amount of green roof that is installed on the top of this. It's a tray system, and we are installing it everywhere we can in terms of serviceable areas, areas that don't conflict with mechanical equipment. But otherwise, we're trying to make use of that elevation of the building as much as possible. Something that you see in a future slide when we talk about landscape materials, there's also a rain garden at the east side of the site between the building and Connolly Circle. Shown on this plan are some things that we'll get to in the future slides. The black dots are the site lighting. All of that those are pole lights that are consistent with the Villanova standards. So if you've been on campus, you've seen those pole lights. They're dark sky compliant, and they're zero cutoff fixtures, and they are very familiar to the campus. There's nothing changed about the standard for those. There are also, you can see the color rendition is a little maybe difficult for to see, so I'm going to point at it that there are two ground signs for this project, one facing to the west and one facing to the south, that you'll see in elevation in the next slide. There's also a building-mounted signage at the south entrance. So here are with the signage. The ground signage, this is a mock-up of that signage. It's, again, the university standard. It should be familiar from other signage applications you've seen from the university. The text is, the largest text is 2 inches tall. The sign itself is within the 4-foot limit. The building signage is rendered here. It's below the 15-foot height limit for building-mounted signage. The text is 7.5 inches tall. Just the calculations of the signage. It's a long building, so. Returning to the subject of lighting, this is the lighting diagram and lighting calculations that were submitted with the application. It also, we've added the building-mounted luminaires in red. There's building-mounted lighting at either entrance, at the loading dock, and then at a terrace at the third floor. It's all pointing down, and again is zero cutoff. There are, in the package that you received, there are cut sheets and details for the lighting if you want to review that in any detail. Moving on to the landscape materials, the majority of the hardscape here is all the material that has been used for Villanova for some time now in terms of the rust-speckled pavers with a border. We're actually, oops, I lost the mouse, sorry. We're extending that palette, which currently stops about here, where there's a transition from paved walkway to road. We're extending that walkway material palette further to the east until we get to the area that has the turnaround for the loading dock. That area is concrete. Otherwise, it's the same material extending down the stairs and around the entirety of the building.
I'm sorry, what was the proposed material?
It's these, I think you've seen this palette perhaps before. It's a combination of different iron spot brick pavers with a bluestone edging. Just a sort of summary of a portion of the material we submitted in the shade tree report, but we are, because of the increase of the footprint of the building and the realignment of a portion of the pathway next to the garage, we are losing a fair number of trees, but we are actually going beyond the replacement ratios when we replant the site. So I think we're required to have 25 replacement trees, and we have 34.
Well, Villanova's an arboretum now, right? Are you level 2 or level 1?
I don't know
Oh,
what.
you don't know, okay. That's
What level?
fine.
We have reviewed this with the arborists on campus, and there are the most significant trees are in this area just to the northwest of the pathway, and we've been tracking the tree protection of those as well. This is a diagrammatic planting plan of all of the tree and understory replacements. So we have a fairly wide palette of both trees, shrubs, and planting. This area in blue that you can see sort of coming down alongside the steps and then into that basin that I referred to earlier is the rain garden, which has its own plant palette, but otherwise, again, this is in the center of their campus, and so we're working on extending the existing palette. We have a number of canopy trees that are enlivened with flowering trees for appropriate times in the academic calendar in order to sort of catch that graduation bloom. And then we have a palette of shrubs and ornamental grasses that we're using.
I think your selections are very good.
Yeah.
For
Thank you.
trees, shrubs, and perennials.
And then ground cover, a lot of this ground cover is used in the, both in the hillside to stabilize the hillside and also in the rain garden. And then rendered elevations that call out the ground signage and the building signage. This is the view from the south from the ellipse. The view from the north, so if you were standing in the parking garage looking back to the building. This is the view from the west, so this is coming from the pathway from the existing Falvey Library, looking back to the building, and then here looking up from the Connolly Circle, the parking drop-off there.
What's the height of the steeple?
I'm sorry, I can't remember that off the top of my head.
Say 400, 750 or?
Yeah, but that's,
On one of the
yeah,
says the highest height.
yeah. so I can't zoom into that here. I'll have to get back to you on that. I can't read it on this.
Max proposed roof height.
Yeah. And then this slide is actually to accompany the material sample, so maybe if we could switch over to the camera, wherever that is. And then
So do you want to use the handheld?
oh,
That's great, thank you.
yeah. All right. So this material palette should be fairly familiar from the last few buildings on the Villanova campus. The Sear building that's under construction right now uses this, as well as the Performing Arts Center that was completed a few years ago. It is similar but slightly different from the Commons housing. It uses the same principal material, which is the micaceous granite, as a random fieldstone pattern through the majority of the building. That material is surrounded by precast concrete as the material for the architectural detail of the window surrounds, the water tables, the string courses. You can see in the elevation the treatment of that combination of materials. We use the precast as if it were a carved stone, so these are not flat panels. They have profiles to the precast concrete, and the areas of fieldstone are set within that or used to construct buttresses and other details of the collegiate Gothic aesthetic. The other principal materials are the windows and the window frames. Those are a low-E insulated glass, which is represented by the sample at the bottom of the page. And then the frames are curtain walls that are painted aluminum. That's basically just off black. There are other materials such as louvers in both the mechanical penthouse and in the windows or the vented areas of the two towers that will also be painted aluminum with a black finish. And the final major material is that there is a portion of the mechanical penthouse that's set back from the edge of the roof that will be finished in an EFIS product, which is covered with a stucco. This is an example of that material. It's the finish of it is at the distance you'll see it basically indistinguishable from the precast concrete that's used for the lower materials.
Board, how do we feel about the materials? Any questions, comments?
I think they're in keeping with what they've just built on Long Lancaster Avenue.
Right.
Yes, it's almost an identical palette. The construction is slightly different, but the material palette is the same.
Okay, we're good with that. Right. Okay. All right, good.
I have a question.
Go ahead, sure.
What's the timeline for the construction?
The construction is slated to begin this summer after graduation, and will take approximately 2 years.
That includes the demo of Kennedy,
Yes.
and then the existing Falvey, that's going to be converted to another use.
I am not involved in that project.
The steeples, cast stone or the EFIS?
They're the cast stone with granite. It's
And are they housing air handler units, or what are those steeples' purpose?
yeah, they have mechanical equipment inside of them.
That's why they have the vents and the,
Yeah.
Okay.
And are the pavers pervious?
There are areas of pervious pavers, not the entirety of the surface that's
Dramatically
shown.
larger footprint, right? So I guess that's the reason for all the green roof.
Green roof, yes. And there's also stormwater retention both in the rain garden, and also there's a stormwater retention structure under a portion of the paving.
All right. Any other questions about the materials? We're good there? What do you want to check out next? Lighting?
sure.
Okay, let's take a little closer look at the lighting.
Yeah. is the lighting going to be dark sky?
Yes.
He said it was gonna be dark sky, and it's gonna be consistent with the same light posts that are already on the campus and the same sconces, right?
Oops, sorry. Yes, and I can go to these. So this is, on the left, you can see the campus standard post fixture. We have a couple of fixtures on the right that are used underneath the soffit of the entrance. And then we have sconces. These are not precisely a campus standard because there is not a standard for this, but they are in keeping with the campus standard style for the building-mounted sconces. There is a pendant that is underneath the porch of the tower on the west that's undercover, so it has a pendant. And then on the right, you see the wall packs that are on the loading dock side of the building.
Comments? We're good?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I really don't have anything to comment on any of the package. I think it's,
Yeah.
I think it's well-designed. I think it looks like it's been there forever. which
Thank you.
I think that's a compliment to your work, and fits into the aesthetics of the campus. And fitting with Villanova, I think I suggested years ago that they should just buy stock in whatever quarry it is that they mine from. But, yeah, I think it's beautiful.
Is it just the single pendant that I'm seeing on the whole building?
There's one exterior, only one exterior pendant.
And they'll be back for signs?
Well, we just looked at the signs, and
Oh, the signs are-
we'll jump to that next. I think that's
Go back to the signs?
pretty basic sign package
yeah,
there.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's certainly well within the square foot
Oh,
requirements.
yeah,
and,
it's all within.
yeah,
Signs-
it's pretty basic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are two ground signs and a building sign.
I guess the ground sign will have some uplighting, or,
No, I don't believe it has uplighting.
Okay.
I mean, I think that all of the ground sign, we're not putting in uplighting for it.
Okay.
It's just out in the landscape.
all right. We're good with the signs?
Yeah.
We can jump past
Maybe
that?
they'll fly through it.
Okay. Should we take a little more in-depth look at the pavers and the sidewalks, or we're good there?
I'm good with
You guys are good there? Okay. And I know I've been holding out for the landscaping.
Yeah, but the list is all here.
You're good?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Anybody else with comments on landscaping? Comments? No?
that's good.
All right.
It's
It's hard to, it's like agate, but.
Okay. Anything else we missed on this application? You guys are comfortable with it?
Yes,
Yeah, it looks good.
I'm good, yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to bring to the board's attention?
No, that's it.
Matt,
Thank you.
You're good? Okay, if there's no other discussion, I'm going to ask Tim to make a motion for approval.
Yeah, I move for conditional approval of the application based upon whatever relief may be granted by the zoning hearing board on any applications pending to that board. Otherwise, I move to approve condition on whatever zoning hearing has to say.
Okay, do we hear a second?
I second.
Sharon?
We've gone through our,
Okay.
with the zoning.
Okay. All right. Okay, we just have a memo here, that's all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Well done and good presentation, thank you.
All right, next on our agenda tonight is 2024-09, the application of Villanova University for a enclosure on a cooling tower.
Good evening. My name is Kevin Blackney. I'm principal with Blackney Hayes Architects. I'll be representing Villanova, and I'll be using the overhead. Is it still on? It's good.
Yes, I think it
Okay.
is.
Okay, again, I'm here to represent Villanova on a project where they are going to be enclosing a cooling tower, which currently exists on the campus very near Mendel Hall. And so let me orient you. On the upper left-hand corner here is Google Earth. This is Route 320. These are the railroad tracks, the SEPTA line. Mendel Hall is in this location, and the cooling towers that we're enclosing is right here. It's adjacent to the railroad tracks and Villanova, all Villanova properties. I have several pictures of what the cooling tower looks like now. It looks like a cooling tower. This road is a private road that's on Villanova's campus. It accesses a parking garage and other buildings on the campus. It's all exposed, the cooling tower. There's an existing sidewalk with stone and some curbing from this view. This view here is the rear view of the cooling tower, the other side from over here. And it's important here, you can see on this side that there is an existing stone retaining wall and trees that kind of block everything from this side, and you can see that here as well. And this is a view of the cooling tower coming the other direction. And Villanova wants to enclose this so that you don't notice this cooling tower. And this is a 3D view and a plan of the proposed enclosure. This plan shows you the cooling tower, and this darker line here represents the shape of the cooling tower. It's going all the way across the front and then back to cover the two sides. As I mentioned, this part back here, this is where that retaining wall is, and the trees are right up here. This side's being left open primarily for operation of the cooling tower, as well as it's not being viewed at all. And this shows that the sidewalk and the stone will be remaining. The design of the cooling tower is that there will be a base and the towers of stone, natural stone that is, and I have samples I'll show you, that matches Mendel Hall. Mendel Hall is an existing building on the campus that has a little bit of different stone style than some of the newer buildings. And the stone goes up around 10 feet, and then this is a metal panel that I will show you that breaks down the scale of the wall, but also provides for air ventilation so that the cooling tower continues to work. There are copings of precast stone, and then there is the Villanova seal insignia that's right in the middle. That gives you the 3D view, and the main elevation is here, so you can get a sense of proportion in terms of elevation. These are the two side views. This is a rear view from the other side.
Is the insignia going to be cast, or how's it, like, cast in the concrete, or what is that going to be?
It's going to be in a precast. It's going to be a piece of precast that gets set into the stone, built into the stone. This is just more of a detailed plan, but it shows you that the idea is that the sidewalk that exists will remain and partially be rebuilt, and it's all currently stone. It's worth pointing out, so there isn't no landscaping changes on this project. There's no lighting included. It just includes enclosing the structure to enclose the cooling tower. And then I do have, these are the images that we put in the submission that I'm sure you've seen, but I do have actual samples. Let's see if you'll be able to see them of the stone. It's a little bit different again, as I said. It's a little less brown. There's a little more gray and black in it, but it does match Mendel Hall. When I mentioned, and I think this is important for you to understand. When I mentioned that there is kind of an open mesh fencing material at the top, that is this material. It is, as you can see, basically 2x2 metal, and that metal is installed into basically an aluminum window system, but which is what this represents and what this image represents. And so that's what that looks like. However, that material will be black, which, this is an example of black metal. And I do have, this is a sample of the precast coping and also the insignia. So that represents the scope of the Mendel Hall cooling tower enclosure. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Comments, question from the board? Colin?
No questions.
Everybody's good?
I'm fine.
Okay, Sharon?
I have a question.
Okay, Sharon?
Are there any other similar structures on campus that you know of? Another enclosure?
Not that I know of, no.
Why is the university putting in the enclosure? Just curious.
Because they believe that the appearance of the cooling tower isn't aesthetically pleasing to people that drive by it.
Just for visual
Visual,
purposes?
visual. Yeah, it's all visual.
It's visible from the train.
Yeah.
You can see it.
There are actually trees that kind of block it, but you can, yeah.
No changes to the surrounding roads or
Nope,
pavers or
nope.
walkways or anything
And
like that?
no landscaping, no lighting.
Just- okay. All right. Anything else for our board tonight?
No, thank you.
I move for approval for DRB 2024-8 Villanova University for the enclosure, for the exterior enclosure for Mendel Hall's cooling tower that will be faced in stone, similar to Mendel Hall, and with a grid on top.
Okay, do we second?
Second it?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
I always did think that was the ugliest side of campus right there.
Did you go to
Not anymore.
I went to law school there. And you'd have to walk by that stuff to get up to like the main center, to get to the
You
main
come,
library.
you get off the train, you get to walk right through that area.
Yeah.
Find your way through it, too.
All right. Thanks for waiting. Next on the agenda tonight is DRB 2024-10, the application of Villanova University for a storage building. Hello again.
Again, my name is Kevin Blackney with
Is it
Blackney
nine
as
or is it
Architects.
10? Got it, I got it.
Okay.
Again, I'm here to represent Villanova University for the construction of a new storage building on the campus of the Villanova Conference Center. This is an aerial map, which you can see of the area to orient you. This is Matson Ford Road, this is County Line Road, and the largest part of the conference center is right here at this location. There is a road that leads from the conference center over to Matson Ford Road, and this is the entrance off of Matson Ford Road. The new storage building will be located right in this opening. You come down a hill here, it's right at the bottom of the hill in that area on the campus of the Inn. I'm going to go to a closer in scale, so if you need further orientation, let me know. But so this is the access road, as I mentioned. This direction goes out towards Matson Ford Road, And this direction here goes up towards the inn and the parking lot for the inn, which, as you know, you access off of County Line Road. This dark gray image here represents the location of the storage building. The storage building is going to be located adjacent to some abandoned tennis courts that exist at that location. And it's a very simple building. It's a one-story building, 30 feet wide by 60 feet long, and it's used for general storage. There is some paving to access it off that road, and I'll show you the plan and how everything works. We will get into the lighting on the building. There is one new light at this location, and I'll show you the image of that light. But that light matches, there are several existing lights along this road, pole-mounted lights, I should point out, that are existing. It was just felt that we should add another one on this side to give a little more light in that area. These images here, the upper left and bottom left, this represents what is there now at the location where this storage building is going to be located. This first photo is as if you're driving down from the conference center, and what you see there right now is an existing container building, and the building, as I mentioned, which is 30 wide by 60 feet long, is right in that location. So you can see there is existing paving, and it's all grass currently. This other view is a view on the road as you come in from Matson Ford Road. This is the container here, and it's all grass. So it's basically being put on a grass area right adjacent to the tennis courts. This is a three-dimensional image of the storage building. As I said, it's one story, pretty simple building, but Villanova wanted to make sure that it looks like it might have fit into the original architecture on the campus. So you'll see that it has a relatively steeply sloped roof. There is an overhead door, and I'll show you the sample of that. There are actually two overhead doors, but the overhead door on this is the front, which would be right here at this location, has an arched entrance to pick up some of the arched entrance that happens on the carriage house and other buildings on the conference center site. There are some other smaller windows to add a little bit of interest and detail, a vent for ventilation, and then the side here has another overhead door, which isn't really going to be visible very much because it's really just on, that's why it doesn't have these arches. The materials, and I'll show you these more in detail, are there's a stone base up to approximately 3 feet, clapboard siding, and roofing, and obviously wood detailing and wood trim, which you can see we're adding at the corners, at the area on the stone, and vertical again to break up the scale. This is just a blow-up detail so that this image is taken from basically if you're standing here and looking. I will talk about the details, the lighting on the building. There is one decorative light on the building that's located right over top of this door, and I'll show you the sample of that. It kind of picks up some of what's going on the campus in terms of design. There are 3 other utilitarian lights that were requested in order for security lighting, and I'll show you those, but there are basically one on each other side, and I'll show you those, but when I show them, you'll know where they are. Just so plan, 30 feet wide, 60 feet long. You can see there aren't bathrooms in here. There is some just plumbing, some piping for hose bibs, and the electrical is lighting, which this shows interior lighting, as and then some convenience receptacles. It's literally a storage building, and these elevations show you the scale and. This shows the arch window, the door, the person door, the smaller windows, the stone, the clapboard, and gives you a general sense of the scale. This also shows you some of the trim that's being added to break down the scale, and this shows you So lighting on the building, well, all the materials on the building, excuse me. Roofing. This is the stone and the clapboard. There's really only 3 materials, so. And stone. So as I said, the base is a masonry veneer. This is a good image of what it would look like, and I just brought you an actual sample of that stone. Has a little more brown in it. The clapboard siding, which you see an image of here, is going to be white. This is an accurate kind of rendition in terms of making a copy for it, but this is the actual material in terms of its color.
So slightly off-white, not
Slightly off-white, yeah. And this is just an example of what clapboard is. And then the roof is a dark gray modular kind of a tile. This is the garage, the overhead door that I mentioned to you has an arch top over it. That's all wood. The arch is made out of wood trim, but the actual overhead door, we tried to pick a door that kind of would fit with the style of the carriage house, and that's what you see here with this door. It has some windows in it and so on. I mentioned that there is a decorative fixture over top of this door, and this is the style of that, and this does pick up a lot of what's been going on, particularly basically what Rams had talked about in the last presentation. And then, as I mentioned, they want more security, so we selected this more of a security light on the 3 sides. We're going to on the 2 sides stick them under the eaves so you don't see them very much, and on the back side it'll be on the wall and you'll see it. But again, they believe they need that for security, and this is a good security kind of light. And then there's one other light that I mentioned, that there's a light on the site, and this is what that light looks like. This is the style of light that matches what is currently on the campus of the conference center. So it's only one of these being added. So the idea there was to pick up that, whereas we put something a little more decorative on the building. To point out, there are no signs on this, and there is no landscaping again. It's all going to be grass is going to build back around it. I believe that's all I need to tell you, and happy to answer questions.
What do you guys feel?
I only have one comment, and it would be regarding the overhead door, and it was just, merely aesthetic. You might want to consider a non-residential door. It might restrict your storage capabilities if it's only 7 or 8 feet tall. That's my only comment.
Thank you.
My main comment would be the roof, kind of the coloration, especially as it's coming up on the TV here, is a little darker than I recall the other roofs on that campus being. I didn't know what purpose, if there was any. I thought the roof on the renovation for the carriage house was a lighter roof, but I can't recall.
Well, we were actually the architects on the
That's what I thought you
and
were.
the carriage house, and the carriage house actually is slate. It's a slate roof. We were able to restore the slate. A lot of it had to be taken off, and it actually all had to be taken off and put back on.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a different color, but so it is going to be a little darker than that. But the feeling was it's going to go better with the white and so on. So that's why it's a little darker. So.
You good with that, Tim?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
That was just my main question.
Okay.
Because I thought, I recalled, I know Blackney, you've done a bunch of stuff on campus, and you've been before us a number of times. Just trying to remember if you guys did the carriage house.
Yeah, we did. And very glad we were able to restore the shingles there.
I have a couple of questions. The first question being, is there any plan to install signage in front of the building? 'Cause
No.
it's a standalone.
No signage.
No signage.
No signage.
And then the second question is, would you happen to know the purpose of the storage?
General storage.
Just general
General
storage.
storage.
And that's it.
The
good?
two, yes.
Ms. Blackman, any other comments for the board?
No, thank you for your time.
Okay. Colin, would you like to make a motion?
In the matter of DRB 2024-10 Villanova University, I move to approve on the condition that the applicant receives land development approval if required. Can I hear a second?
Seconded.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next is DRB 2024-11. The application of Sushi at 613 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne for outdoor dining.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Sam. I'm the owner of Sushi. Or
So this is our first outdoor application in a while. Yeah, so we'll look closely at it and, okay, take our time with the approval and everything, so.
Was our last one the,
We-
at the table who moved from
Yeah.
Luella down
yes,
to Lancaster?
Yes, I believe it was.
Keep moving further west.
we're proposing to add a couple tables in front of our, by the side of our building, well, in front of our building. So this space used to be Zoe's Kitchen. Where we're proposing to have the tables are where Zoe Kitchen used to have their tables. So, and I want to bring that back.
Okay,
And this is the, I don't know if you guys can see this. This is a layout, and this is the actual picture that I took. This specific area is exactly 273 by 144.
I have to say, you've done a beautiful job with the building.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really nice, and it looks super going by at nighttime, and, yeah, so it's really good. Okay, so,
So you're trying to put 3 tables out there, and you want to put the 3 boxes out there to kind of segment it off from the driveway? Or
Correct.
parking lot?
Correct.
so the planter boxes you want to use as a barrier, basically.
Well, for visual appearance purpose and for more privacy for customer when they're sitting at the table. So I feel that it's going to block off some.
Well, it's our understanding that the health department doesn't allow planter boxes in restaurant outdoor dining areas because they are concerned about rats
Oh,
and other things.
okay.
But that is, the health department does not allow them.
Okay. Is that something that I should confirm, or it's just
No,
something?
that's-
Okay. Yeah, I'll make sure I confirm with the health department. If it's something that allowed, we just won't put it up.
Well, you're going to have some sort of barrier. It's just not going to be the planter boxes.
Right.
So you're going to have to do something that is pretty heavy duty and,
Mhm.
yeah, some sort of barrier.
Okay.
Other places have used some type of fencing along, just to kind of box out an area. I don't know if that's an option that'd be available there.
Right. So it's got to be at least 30 inches high,
30 inches high.
at least 30 inches.
Got it.
Metal, wrought iron, something like that.
So,
Yeah, no fabric barrier. So-
right, the planter boxes that we plan on putting up, I mean, if it's allowed,
No, it's not.
it's not, okay.
not.
It's not allowed, okay. So I'll take this back.
Yeah, unfortunately, the rats tend to harbor underneath the
Right.
boxes and stuff like that, so, yeah,
Right.
we can't have planter boxes.
Okay, all right. So,
Sorry about that.
how should I proceed from here?
Well, that's a good question. Like I said, we
You
need,
could put a box like that out there that had a solid top.
I just don't think it's a complete application now that the planters are not allowed.
yeah,
You
I
know,
think,
it's a safety factor. You know, somebody could run into those tables while they're parking their vehicle. So you need to prevent that from happening.
Right, so a fixed fencing?
yeah, why don't we do this? Why don't we walk through the application, kind of put the barrier on the back burner? Possibly you can talk with Kevin, our code enforcer, and maybe figure something out. I know the weather's starting to break, and we don't want to hold them up.
No.
Not trying to hold you up at all.
Yeah,
No.
so why
Appreciate
don't
it.
we look at everything, and you can check in with Kachansky and see what he has to say about the barrier,
Okay.
okay? So you want to show us your furniture?
So this is a table. It's pretty straightforward. It's a square table. 29.5 in height, and it's 30 by 30. And same matching chair. And the steel, it's in this weather-resistant steel framing.
All right, you guys happy with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with the
Yeah.
tables
Yeah,
and the chairs.
Sure.
I'm fine with the table and chairs too.
Yeah, it needs stuff-
Table, chair, fine, umbrella, not going to get approved.
Okay.
Not by me, at least. Maybe my board members might, but
Far left is like,
Yeah, it's a little, you don't like it?
no.
Okay, well, let's take a look, Sam, at the umbrella.
it looks like it's tiki.
The umbrella is it's a straw material,
Yes,
so we can change a different material.
well, it
if
needs
that-
to be flame resistant.
Yeah,
I
flame
know
resistant.
Straw is flame resistant.
Okay.
All right, so that's number one. Most people, I guess, use the heavy-duty umbrella material.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a strong material, it's fade resistant, things like that.
Yeah,
Got it.
so, and no advertising on the umbrella.
That's-
Of course. No.
Yeah, all right. No lighting on the umbrella.
No lighting. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's got to be at least 6 feet, 8 inches in height off the
Okay.
ground.
Got it.
Okay,
Okay.
so there's two issues. Then we have the umbrella and the barrier. What else you have for us, Sam?
That's pretty much it. So whatever needs to be changed, I'll make sure that we meet whatever the requirements are.
Okay. How do you want to handle it? Should we do continuation unless, I guess we're going to have to see the umbrellas and the barriers.
I think the
since we have
barrier,
two
the
issues.
barrier is the more important
Yeah.
for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Umbrella, you know,
You
they're
tell me
almost,
you're gonna get a black umbrella, material umbrella, I don't care.
Yeah,
yeah,
Mhm.
I don't care either.
okay.
It's
All right.
more the barrier.
Okay,
The
Sam,
barrier is the barrier.
yeah, we're
Because it's a
gonna-
difficult parking lot to begin with. I mean, I dined at your establishment 2 weeks ago, and it was excellent, but, you know, it's very difficult to park because it's a narrow lot. So
Right. Right.
I'd be concerned with people dining out there and people trying to navigate the lot
Right. Right.
at the same time, so.
Yeah, it's not totally understandable. Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we do this? Why don't we ask you to come back next month,
Okay.
work on the umbrella, work on the barrier,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
So with the barrier, what are the requirements on the barrier?
At least 30 inches in height, possibly a wrought iron or metal type.
Okay, just no plants.
No plants,
Okay.
no plants, forget the plants.
Okay, but it can be removable with, what does it have to be a fixed barrier that's locked into the ground?
You don't, you probably, you're not gonna have outside dining in December, January, February, probably, so
Depending on how things go climate-wise.
right, true.
Right.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, that may be a question
Yeah,
for,
how can it be movable? Because the car could hit it and move it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the concept of the planters here, right, it was gonna be 3 large obstacles that we're gonna be able to then you would slide them probably back up against the building. Is that what you're gonna be trying to do eventually?
Well, if it's like, I was planning on during summertime, we'll put it up
Yeah.
when the weather starts to cool down, we'll move all the outdoor dining furnitures, including the planters. That's my
And
original.
we'll store it off-site, or?
Well, we have a storage area,
Yeah.
so, and then bring it back the following year. That's my original plan. But,
There might, I mean, this is something, you're probably gonna need to talk to Kevin on this
Yeah, I
one, but
think
like, there are fencing options. I know if you think about like pool fencing, you can have fences that are drilled into the concrete and then eventually they can be
I'm just not well versed on the code for this
Yeah,
situation.
yeah, I
Like,
guess
I don't
we-
think a wrought iron fence is even appropriate, because it's not going to prevent a vehicle from going
Yeah.
through it.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like bollards are needed.
Yeah.
Right.
But
So-
again, I'm not sure. You'd have to, you know,
Ask
work
Kevin.
with Kevin Kachansky on what's required.
okay,
right.
all right, okay, all right.
But I think it does need to be continued.
Yeah, okay,
Okay, yeah.
all right. Sam, anything else for us tonight?
That's it.
Okay. Yeah, and of course, the health officers will be involved in it too, because it's,
Health department,
yeah, health
Okay.
department, so.
So for our next meeting, you have to get your designs submitted back in by the 20th, March 20th.
by the 20th,
To the next, so you have it approved for the next.
so I have a week.
Yeah,
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So work,
So talk to Kevin.
Talk to the township, work with them to see if you can come up with a solution.
Okay.
Like, what's the situation in Township that we could help them with? Villanova, the old Radnor Rolls, I can't think of the name of the restaurant.
what's that, is it
It's got the outdoor dining with the
Yeah.
parking nearby, like, what did they do? I can't remember.
can't
It's
remember
called
either.
something fire,
La Scala.
La Scala
La Scala.
Fire.
They,
Maybe you-
they
maybe you
did
drive-
some type of concrete barrier, didn't they? It's not movable.
I can't
And
remember.
when they came in, because they initially wanted planters too, if I remember.
Yeah.
And we said no on the planters there, but then they came up, I thought, with some type of actually like a concrete segmented off area.
Because most
Because
of
they
our
had a
out,
seating section on the one side, and we're like, you don't wanna just have dining over there too? And they're like, no, we wanna have the seating.
most of the outdoor dining is protected by a curb and then a sidewalk.
Right,
You know, this is a strange situation.
yeah.
Right, because I know there's water-based barriers, but they just doesn't look too good. You know, where they're,
I'm sorry, what-
Have enough weight that it won't be tipped.
right, is there like a weight requirement as long as it reach certain weight?
Yeah, that's again for,
Yeah, that's beyond our,
Yeah.
what we have knowledge of on that.
Okay.
okay.
We can tell you if it looks pretty.
So we're good with the chairs, we're good with the tables, right? And so we need to take another look at umbrellas.
Okay, umbrella, I'll make sure, I'll find a different type that's fire rated,
Yeah,
Right.
and then that meets. all the-
fire-rated umbrella.
And then I'll call I'll call the person, whoever's in charge, to speak about the
Yes,
fencing.
yes.
Okay,
Is there anything else that you saw under?
The
No,
umbrella also
no.
needs a minimum height.
a minimum height.
Yeah.
Yeah.
30,
6 feet 8 inches from,
6 feet 8 inches for the umbrella, but 30 inches
at least
for the
30 inch.
barrier.
Yeah, at least 30-inch high barrier, 30-inch high barrier.
Barrier is 36 inches high.
At least
30.
30.
At least 30, okay. And then umbrella it's 8 feet and 6 inches.
6 feet 8 inches.
6 feet,
So
8
it's all in
inches.
it's all in the code.
Okay,
Yeah, if you look up the outside dining, it'll be
Okay.
in there, so.
okay, sounds good.
All right, are you happy with that then? We're okay? You're
I'm
gonna
happy
come
with
back
that.
next month?
Yes, I'll be
Okay.
back next month.
All right, Jane, you want to make that motion then?
Oh, great. I've lost your number. DRB 2023-09, no, that's not right.
2024-11.
11, for a continuance for, I'm on the wrong page again, for 613 West Lancaster Avenue for outdoor dining. We need a barrier at least 30 inches high, fireproof umbrella at least 6 feet 8 inches,
No planter boxes.
and no planter boxes as part of the barrier. So to be continued.
Okay. All right, do we hear a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank
All
you
right,
very
Sam,
much.
We'll look forward to seeing you next month, all right?
See you next month.
Okay. Okay, next is DRB 2024-12, the application at 259 North Radnor Chester Road for monument signs and a lot of signs. How's that?
Hi, I'm Danielle Trotter. I'm with D2 Branding. I'm the graphic designer on this project, and I'm here on behalf of Goldman Sachs for 259 North Radnor Chester Road, the Radnor Court campus.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Arturo Ponciano. I'm the design director for D2 Groups, so I'll be talking about any questions that you may have on the architecture part of this project.
All right, yeah, so you've got a lot of stuff going on here. So,
Yes, so this first page here is showing the facade signs location plan. So moving on to the next page, we have the south entry sign. Do you want us to go first, or do you want me to talk about this? So what I'm showing here, this is our sign vendor shop drawing. This is showing the non-illuminated acrylic sign being mounted to the black painted metal with stud surface mounted directly to that panel.
Yep. We're essentially freshening up the entrance along the back. This is the new material palette. Is a phenolic resin panel from Trespa, and we have a matte black metal finish for the frame. And as Danielle mentioned, the signage is really just static signage that's going to occupy and anchor the vertical element that's sort of framing the new entrance.
This is on the back of the building?
That's along the back of the building, yes. This is the employee entrance.
Yeah, so the next page, you can see here, this is what was here.
okay, so you're getting rid of Radnor Court vertical.
That's correct, yes. We're creating a wider opening. There's going to be a new canopy. The black, in the previous elevation, the black element that you were looking at is essentially it projects out, so it creates a canopy. The opening gets a little bit longer, but it gives us an opportunity for signage along the right side. There's going to be bike storage and other elements in there that the ownership is contemplating right now.
So we just have to board this. So basically, there's going to be construction going on and new entryway is going to be made.
Correct, yes.
On the back of the building.
On the back of the building,
Is
correct.
that something that we should see before we approve signage for that?
Yeah, as soon as the cart's before the horse.
Yeah, it's kind of what I
It's gone through building department approvals already, that portion.
But they said that this entrance is for the employees, so they would still be able to access through the front door, right?
Correct.
The renovation hasn't actually come before us.
No, I don't believe so. I mean, you're probably long, have you started renovations or not?
They have started renovations, yes.
When do you think it'll be completed?
I'm guessing in the next 3 to 6 months.
Okay, so signage isn't high priority tonight as such. I know you're here. Would you like to get it approved?
I would have to go back to ownership to see what the schedule is for everything, yes.
I mean, how do you guys feel? Would you want to see just a better visual of what's going on there before we approve signage for that?
Do you want to go through the whole package to show you what else we're doing? Because
Okay.
this was primarily focused on signage and branding.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
But, oh, yeah, because are you going to be changing the color of the facade of the building and everything?
There are some, the visitor entrance, which is the main entrance, is also getting freshened up, so there are new materials being applied to that.
All right, let's go
Mhm.
through, let's walk us through everything you've got and then
Sure.
talk further about
Yep.
it.
Starting at the back door.
So this is the visitor entrance rendering showing the, yes, go ahead.
Sorry, Daniel. We're not changing any of the architectural elements that exist there today. The two round columns that span the 2 floors are getting recladded in the black aluminum sample that you see here, and then the existing soffit the building overhangs, creates a soffit, so that is currently plaster. We're just recladding that with these trespass panels and doing new downlighting. There's already existing downlights there, so we're simply just freshening up what exists there today. There is a beam that currently spans between the two columns that has the Radnor Court sign, as you can see on the existing photo on the top left. We're proposing to essentially make that a little bit taller to accommodate the new sign, which is on the top right. This, this sign would be illuminated, so there is power being run to it. The existing sign already has power to it, so we're just rerouting for a halo illumination behind that new sign.
How high off the ground is the new sign? What is its height?
To the underside of the beam, I'm guessing is probably about 10 feet, 10 to 12 feet.
How about the top of the sign?
To the top of the sign, do we have the elevations there?
It's 30. So the panel height is 38 inches high. So
Yeah, so we're probably, to the underside, we're probably at 12, and so add another 2.5 feet. So probably to the top of it, we're just shy of 16 feet.
About shy of 15, that's the max. You squeeze it in at 15?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the max from grade you're allowed.
Okay. 15 feet? Let me check the RL elevation here. Do we have it?
panel height. That's all I have.
Oh, that's the panel height. Oh, okay, so we're here at,
Correct.
this is probably 9. We're under 15 feet, yeah. I'm exaggerating the height there.
Where is that measurement? See it? Am I the only one that doesn't see it?
Do you have somewhere where that measurement is or not?
I have the panel height for the sign. That is on, I don't have the page number on here.
Sheet 2 of 4, right?
Right.
So you have the panel height as being 38 inches high.
Correct.
Yeah,
So you have where
you
the
can tell
panel
from
is
this
on-
elevation, I was mistaken. If the doors are 9 or 10 feet right now, we're only gonna be going up to 12 foot, if it's 30, so we're about 12 feet.
All right, like I said, as long as you're 15 feet or under.
Yep, yep.
That's the key. Okay, all right.
All right. Any other questions on this sign, or should I keep moving forward?
You guys good with that?
So the entire panel is illuminated.
So it's an internally illuminated panel with a push-through lettering so the Radnor Court and the logo will be illuminated. Not the entire panel, just the lettering and the logo.
Just the white parts.
Correct.
Oh, there we go, we have some heights here.
You guys doing, you all right?
Oh, let's see them.
Yeah.
Let's see them now.
In the code.
Is it on?
These are just our construction drawings. It shows the elevation, which again, it's not changing architecturally. We're not adding any new architectural elements. We're just recladding, refacing existing materials. The reflected ceiling plan that shows you our new linear lighting. And again, it's just replacing the existing lighting that's there, and our floor plan indicating the new round column enclosures.
Do you have photographs of the lights or not, that you're gonna put up?
I do not. I did not bring them with me, but I can definitely follow up on that. They are linear recessed lights, so they recess into the ceiling system.
Oh, okay. So just like a down light? So.
It'll be a linear strip that'll it'll just provide downlighting, correct?
So it's not really gonna be visible as such unless you look straight up?
Yeah, it'll just illuminate, give you a little ambient light along the entrance.
You guys all right with that?
It,
Yeah, the fixture itself is recessed, so the fixture will not be visible. The light would be visible, but the
The-
fixture itself would not be
correct,
visible unless you're
correct.
looking directly.
The trim is flush with the adjacent panels.
Correct.
Yeah,
Are you keeping the post lights on the sidewalks
we are.
that are visible in this picture?
Yes, we weren't going to touch those.
So moving on to the monument and freestanding directional signs, this is our site plan here. And then moving to the Google Earth version of that, just to kind of show the landscaping. So the two monument signs, these are just flipping to the current conditions of the monument signs. So this is what is existing today. We have the two locations, M1 and M2. So what we're doing here is removing the teal panels from here and refacing the black pieces to look like the design down here. The wood frame wasn't printed, so I do have extra copies if you want to see that, but the idea here is that the monument signs will be refaced with aluminum panels. The white panel will have the Radnor Court logo printed on it. The tenant panels will be aluminum slots essentially applied to this black aluminum panel, and the names will be in cut vinyl applied to those aluminum panels. The sides will be a Dynoc vinyl wood look, similar to this color, wrapped aluminum. So those will be the sides to give that wood to tie into the wood and other elements of the exterior. And
Will they be illuminated?
No,
Neither side?
no.
Not illuminated.
Mm-mm.
But will they have lights on them at night? No?
No, they don't have lights on them currently.
Yeah, what do you guys feel about the monument signs? You're good?
Those are good. Good.
The only thing I was just going to ask you, the 259 North Radnor Chester Road, how tall is that? Pretty visible if somebody's driving by or looking for the address?
Yeah, we typically do a 2-inch high max or minimum, so it's at least 2 inches high. I don't know off the top of my head, but
I know the township likes at least 4-inch.
okay.
Just numbers.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
Okay.
didn't go to that office recently in there. I had a hard time finding it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. It's
Okay.
a little hard to find.
Yeah,
So, it's your call, but I think it should be a little bit bolder.
got it.
Yeah.
And then let me pull up the. So same idea here, well, design-wise, but these are the existing freestanding directional signs on the campus. The plan is to remove and apply these freestanding directional signs. Same idea as the monument signs with the wood look wrap around the edges and then a black painted aluminum face. The text and the Radnor Court logo will be cut vinyl.
Are you installing the new signage
Correct.
as a replacement?
Yes.
Not repurposing it? Not repurposing what's
No.
already there? Okay.
So that stuff will all go and new will be brought.
Yeah. And this one is showing the front and back. It's not 3 separate signs, it's two signs.
Okay. So, it's funny, the terminology in the code book, a freestanding or directional sign, you're only allowed 4 square feet. Naturally, these are a lot larger than that. So we need to call these instructional signs.
Okay.
We're allowed up to 30 square feet.
Okay.
So, and you've kind of maxed out your monument signs, so we can't call them monument signs. So we're going to call these instructional signs.
Okay.
It'll be,
Instructional.
right, Tim?
I'm fine with that.
It's good to know.
That works for me.
Okay, all right, so these are instructional signs,
Okay.
all right? So, no lighting?
No.
No lighting, yeah. I guess at nighttime, this office is pretty closed anyway, right?
Mhm.
There's not a whole lot going on at night.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about the instruction assignment?
Got to work around.
They look good.
Yeah, they look
Yeah.
good. No,
Oh,
it's a
yeah,
work
they're
around.
not telling you in or out.
They tell you pretty much what you need to know.
Mhm.
All right, and that's all I have.
As part of the renovation of the look of this building, what consideration has gone into the landscaping? Because part of this commission's job is to look at landscaping.
As part of the architecture improvements, we have not discussed any
But
landscape
that's
upgrades.
not your job. You're the sign people and the architects for the building. But do you know if the applicant is going to come with a landscape plan?
Not that I'm aware of.
Because I think the landscaping here is rather old, right? Landscaping,
fresh, yeah.
not fresh. It needs to be redone, refreshed.
Mhm.
And if you want a new look to the building,
Yeah.
you want the landscaping to look like
They're,
this.
as part of the, reposition effort for this building, they've been doing a lot of interior work, so, there's hopefully additional money allocated for landscape improvements, for sure.
What does this board think we should ask the applicant to come in with a landscaping plan as part of this renovation?
Sure, positively.
Well,
Yeah. Let's take a look. Doesn't
it's
have to be a-
SS 150-4.
Yeah, okay. All right, so I have a couple issues. One, we just heard about the landscaping.
Mhm.
Okay. We'll-
Because there is landscaping here.
Okay,
Yeah, they've got stuff.
and they don't plan on doing any landscaping, I guess that's their call, right? Or maybe freshen up a little bit, or?
Well, it could be their call, but we have to see it.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
like landscaping considerations, kind of, that's a broad term, including location, type, size, color, texture, and plant materials, including the maintenance and protection, has been considered to ensure the visual relief, which will complement the existing and adjoining properties, and to provide an attractive environment.
All right,
I don't know.
getting back to the.
Yeah, I'd like to get back to the south entry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's where we need to focus. So
Right.
what is
Yeah.
the scope of your retention here? What have you guys been retained to actually perform for this building? Are you doing a branding? Are you doing the signs? Are you doing the facade renovation?
Facade renovation and
Okay.
branding and signage.
Because I think the application needed to state that it was a facade renovation, but it didn't. And so that's why we were a little bit confused when you probably first started this presentation.
Mhm.
Because obviously, we had never seen anything about the facade renovation
Mhm.
that's proposed for this building.
Yep.
And then we were coming in here to look at signs, so I think for that, but, I mean, that's kind of form over function, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
the fact that you've presented this information, you've gone through and you've identified what you are proposing to do to the building structurally as well as in terms of the branding and sign, right? So looking at the south elevation, walk us through exactly what is going to be done to the building's facade.
Mhm. Yeah, unfortunately, we only brought an elevation today. We do have some render views that were previously submitted as part of the building department permit submission. But I can go back to just this elevation. We're essentially, again, like I said earlier, we're creating a wider opening to accommodate more glass, mimicking what's already installed in the visitor side. We are, as part of this renovation, we are removing a portion of the brick, removing the existing sign that you saw earlier in the photograph. This small plan kind of shows you the footprint of how far the canopy and this sidewall extend. So it's about a 5-foot extension to create, some protection at that new entrance. and really just a more inviting employee entrance. And again, bringing in some new materials that complement the existing brick that's there. So that was what we were asked to do by ownership. This is all tied to interior renovations that are currently happening.
So if you, because you have it there for, it's page 5 of that actually shows the current existing. If you could put them up next to each other, I think that helps so you can describe what's happening to the existing to make
Yep.
it into the picture that is sheet 1 of 4. It seems to me, well, if I'm looking at the rendering, right? Am I looking at the rendering from the same perspective that I'm going to be looking at in this picture that's of the existing entrance? Or is that a different angle?
It's sort of deceiving, but basically we are removing the brick and you can see the accent tile. We're removing it up to that line. So that metal band that you see in this photo, essentially that is being removed. That's the extent of our canopy. It gets cut off. It gets cut off in this image, but this black frame would start there and essentially come across and come back down. So we're making a wider. Thank you.
Huh. Yeah.
Okay, now I see what you're doing.
Cool. Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
You're
it.
good?
that
Yeah,
makes
I
it
just-
easier than my.
Yeah,
That probably
right.
made it easier than my explanation. So
Okay.
thanks, Daniel.
All right, so we're good. So let's go back to the signage then,
Okay.
on that south side. What do you think? You guys like it? Looks
No, I
good?
like it.
Oh, I
Okay.
like it.
I like the rendering, I like the design, I just was confused as to where things stood,
Right.
so I wanted to get that out there, make sure it's clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that if the renovations happen, that there's no question that, yes, we saw them.
All right. So again, it's probably under that 15 feet from grade. but
Yes.
We're going to have you confirm that and then maybe bring those details in before the zoning officer,
Understood.
just for verification, as well as that one on the front of the building.
Yep.
It's funny, I did some calculations. To me, it looks like you're at 16 on the front.
I'll double check.
Double check it,
Yep.
all right? Yeah,
Yep.
and then bring those calculations
Absolutely.
to the board. Or if we would like to see the applicant next month with a landscape plan, if it's
It
available.
might not be these.
Yes,
Yeah.
right, they can bring that measurement with them at that time, too, just to make sure it's 15.
Do we want to see the landscaping, or do we just want to
I'm
recommend?
fine with moving forward, with giving
Okay.
them the approval.
I'm just saying, but I recommend that they refresh the landscaping as
Okay,
part
well,
of this project.
We'll put that in the approval.
That's all, okay.
Yeah.
In the motion.
That's fine.
Okay, all right. So what else, guys? Where are we? We're in good shape?
I would only note if you're above the 16, if you drop it, it won't be centered in that band. So you might have to reduce the overall square footage of the sign so it
Yep.
is centered with the band.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Any other comments? Sharon?
No, everything looks fine. I just want to remind them about the size of the address on the
Right.
monument sign.
Yeah, let's ask for at least 4 inch, just to make
Okay.
sure. Yeah, 2 inches could be a little tough, yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right, you good? Jane?
Yeah, oh,
Okay.
yes.
Any other comments or questions from the applicant?
No.
Okay. Tim, can I ask you to make the motion, please?
I will try. In the matter of DRB 2024-12, I move for conditional approval of the application, subject to the applicant providing the calculations of both the height from grade and the areas of the signs to the zoning officer. We recommend as a board that the property owner consider freshening up the landscaping, and if a landscaping is to be done, a submission to the board for consideration of the landscaping design, and that if any of the heights of the signs that have been presented in the application exceed 15 feet from grade, that the signs be reduced to be in compliance with the 15-foot maximum, and if necessary, that the square footage of that sign be reduced such that it remains centered in the band on the front of the building, and that the address on the monument sign be at least 4 inches tall.
I second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great.
Thank
All
you.
right, very good.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Thanks, Tim. Yes. I'm sorry? Yeah, thanks. I'm worried about it.
I know. We're just gonna let you do it. All of a sudden, 4 members of the board go.
All right, thanks. All right. Next on tonight's agenda is DRB 2024-13, the application of Main Line Yard at, I could do this one with my eyes closed.
I know.
157 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne, zoned under the Wayne Business Overlay District. Hello there.
Hello, good evening. My name's Kieran. I am representing Mainline Yard with Ida Enterprises.
Okay. Karen, are you a sign manufacturer?
No, I am their leasing agent, VP
Oh, okay.
for Ida Enterprises.
Okay, good. Great. Nice to have you here.
So,
And Karen, there's a handheld mic, or you can use the there, so whichever you're more comfortable with.
all right. The first paper I'm laying out here is the Google images. Sorry. So the Mainline Yard is right here. To the left, if you're facing the building, is the antique shop, and then the parking lot for the liquor store is to the right.
Hey, Karen, why don't you tell the board and our viewers at home what's going on with the building? I think there's been a lot of interest and people wondering what's going in there, and
Absolutely. So recently, the update that's been going on, we took off the previous awning and we replaced the windows as well as the door, and we it had been a raised sidewalk, and what we did was it needed some reparation. So what we redid that, and that actually recently got finished. As we move along, I'll show you the pictures I have were taken before. That was done since the due date. So what's going to go in there is a baseball training facility for baseball and softball, youth as well as older. So we're pretty excited to get them in there, and they are excited as well. So here's the color scheme for the proposed sign, and really for what their branding is going to be. So we have the black as well as the red for the kind of baseball diamond, and just a typical white. All of these stamps are right here as well. Here are some photos of what it currently looks like, or what it used to look like. What's new now is these cones should all be gone, and there should be a new sidewalk up here. And the concrete will come up probably 8 inches from what you see here. All the piping and everything has been put in there. What we are proposing up top, as you can see in here, are where the kind of gooseneck lights will go. These are just going to be kind of classic black gooseneck lights, shouldn't just to illuminate the sign. This is a template of what it'll look like, what we're hoping to have it look like, and then here is some scale for what we are proposing. So as I was doing my kind of final review for this, I noticed a typo for this sign right here. This was originally on your sheet, it'll say 13.6. It's actually 6 feet 10 inches. So that changes some of the dimensions. But some of the math would be, they still fit in code. We'll shrink it down to the actual The permitted space for the decal will be 14.9 square feet, and we're going to shrink down this to meet that exactly. So it'll be a 3 feet by 11 inches square. That's actually what this is kind of just to help to represent. If you'll notice, the logo that we have on there is more of a rectangle. But what we found is just to kind of put it on there with the vinyl, we're going to measure it out to be a 3 foot by 11 inch square. So it'll be the actual decal will take up less space than what the square is measured out to be. The next, and the sign up top here will be just under 13 feet from the ground. The next one is going to be the only sign decal will be on the side facing the liquor store parking lot. And this is going to be same thing, a 3 foot by 2 inch square. And then there's some other windows on the side, but he's chosen, we're not going to put anything on those, leave those open. Same kind of image just to show you that we're doing the square decal. And here's some of the calculations. The measurements in terms of total signage, much less than the allowed for the sign band and total window, especially considering all of the windows on the side.
So Karen, your total allowable signage on the front of the building, based on 2 feet for each linear foot of building frontage, so you're allowed 40.4 square feet of signage on the front of the building along Route 30. So
Understood.
So 40.4, you're at, your wall sign is pretty big.
Yeah.
And you're eating up most of your allowable square footage with the wall sign, which I think is going to give you the most bang for the buck anyway.
Which is at 34 feet?
Yes, that would be the total square footage for the
So that'll-
sign band there. If we shrank that,
What's the decal? 4?
the decal would be in total it's about 14 for this for the main window, and then the door is closer to the door would be
So
22.
basically, you have too much
We do.
square footage.
And
So
that's- It's visually too much.
Some-
To my eye, it's visually too much.
Yeah.
You've got just too much sign on the front of that building. I think people will actually be able to get what it is by just you don't need the door one and the window one and the one above. I mean, I think visually it looks cluttered.
so
Even if you're allowed to do it, I think it looks cluttered.
the one thing, even if if you take away the larger square that we have there, the decal on the front window, and made it closer to this 3 foot, that would shrink the total number back down to, what is that? No longer 10, much lower. It's probably closer to,
It just looks cluttered.
33 in total rather than 43.
But even if you shrink it, you've got 3 of the same thing within
Yeah.
the same view of this building. I don't think you need the one on the door, the one here. I mean, but it just looks cluttered.
Okay.
So what about the rest of the board?
What do you guys feel?
It's a cool logo.
It is.
No, I like the logo,
Yeah.
it's just, I think it's,
I mean,
I think 3 signs is cluttered.
yeah, Aaron, this is my take, that one way you can get around it is, I know you guys are renovating the inside and it's completely redone and stuff like that, or will be. Is there room basically for a window display as such? Is there a ledge or an area where you can have a sign fabricated and use it as a window display and maybe put some bats and balls and gloves in there and make it a display and get that decal off the window and have a visual display? Is there room for that, or did you plan anything like that?
So the plan is, the idea was to put something in there, and he'll be able to have a kind of storefront where you'll have the kids training in the background. So yes, I think that is a possibility. We could just.
Is it more a privacy thing?
A little bit of a privacy thing, but mostly just to get the name out there. So I think we could take that off if that's really, and even have
The
it.
man sign is giving you much more coverage than the window sign.
Yeah.
I would try to maximize that if I were you.
Okay. Yeah, we can absolutely drop that.
I mean, you could really leave the wall sign and the door sign,
That's what I'm arguing.
yeah, and drop the front window sign.
Even though I think the band sign's too big, but that, you can do it that big.
Yeah, you're allowed up to 35.2 on the wall sign, he's at
If I were you, I
34,
would take
so,
that and the door,
yeah, bag the window, front window.
Okay.
I mean,
and then
Thank
maybe
you.
you put some opaque screening in the window or something for privacy.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Or you put baseball bats and gloves and
look,
stuff.
you might have next Mike Trout playing in that store, why hide it? Show it off, the kid's a good athlete, right?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Great idea.
but that's my idea. Now, of course, you're gonna have to go back to your
Talk to the designer, architect,
designer
and
and
tenant.
Well, where are the
Stacy.
cages going? Are you doing 2 cages, one on each side, or how's it going?
2 cages in there, and they'll have a net in the middle of them
Yeah.
that you slide down if you want to connect the two.
Yeah.
When do you think the opening is?
Knock on wood, should be by the end of this month.
Wow,
Just in time for the season.
Exactly.
No, they're already in order Recio.
yeah.
They
People-
started
yeah.
yesterday in order Recio. The Boys of Summer.
So a comment from Kevin Kuczynski, our zoning officer, in regards to this application was, total proposed signage appears to be significantly more than code allows. Recommend tabling and meeting with zoning officer to discuss. So maybe we could do,
Maybe we can give a recommendation.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I mean, I think if you take the logo off the window, right, the front window,
Right,
boom, you
That's
got
a
it.
recommendation.
Yeah.
yeah.
That drops the number down, right?
Right, then he's good. You can leave
All right.
the mainline yard on the door. We always said that, like, hours of operation and stuff like that, we don't consider that
No.
signage. That's just a necessary type thing for the door.
Yeah.
So the only thing we would look at on the door is the mainline yard decal. So again, that's just my thought. I don't know how the board feels about
And
that, but
You have to put the address on the door, too.
I was gonna say.
yeah,
Sure.
good call.
Okay.
Put it like in the transom or something.
Yeah, right up top.
Yeah. So, all right, the side window, that's well within the
Yeah, that's fine.
20%. There's
Yeah.
no sweat with that, so that's kind of a non-issue. So goosenecks, we're all in favor. The goosenecks look all right? We're good there? The overhead sign, what type of material are you going to use in that overhead sign?
It'd be like a synthetic polymer,
Okay,
kind of sheet.
okay. Just have to be careful with the application. You're not allowed to see any screws or anything like that. It's got to be a blind fastener.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on the back. Okay.
Okay. And any idea on that letter height, like the mainline yard? I mean, this building sits fairly close to the road.
Yeah, that should be probably in total. It'll come out to probably about a foot, a little bit bigger than that, maybe, proportionate to the 2 feet.
You guys are good with the height? I don't think that's excessive as such. You guys all right with the height of the letters? 2 feet, or excuse me, 1 foot, maybe a hair more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I always think they're too large, but that's.
Right, all right. Well, I think it's going to look a lot different if we get rid of that window decal. Yeah, it's just, it's too much coming at you right now.
It's also black on a light building.
You're right, right. Okay. And height from grade, I think you mentioned earlier, no more than 15, correct?
Yep, no, it'll be just under 13 feet.
Right, okay. Let's see. All right, what else you guys feel about this? Colin?
I'm good.
Sharon? Questions?
Good, as far as, that recommendation isn't.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And Tim, how you feel?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay. So how do we proceed with it? We make you want to take it, Colin, and make a motion?
A matter of DRB 2024-13, Mainline Yard, 157 West Lancaster Avenue. We move to make a recommendation to keep the wall-mounted sign as is, and the door sign as is, but remove the window decal in the front completely, and the side decal is fine as presented.
Address number.
And the applicant will add the address number somewhere on the front facade. Move for an approval.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Karen, you're okay with everything?
That's great. Great.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Questions for us or anything? You're good?
Nope, got it
Okay.
all.
So I think your next step is, though, to get a hold of Mr. Kachansky, the code enforcer, just to
Confirm everything.
confirm everything, make sure it's okay with him. He was a little worried about the size of the signage, so just to make sure it's good with him.
Will do. All right, thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Yeah. Got any jobs for me in there, or what?
Sorry?
You have a job for me in there? That was our old haunt there, you know? Yeah. I should get first dibs, don't you think? At least,
Size people up for their cleats.
yeah, there you go, all right. Or at least get some few swings in there for free, you know, come on, yeah. All right,
I always wanted to take a baseball bat to it, didn't you?
yeah, many times, yeah. Uh-huh,
Thanks for your patience, gentlemen.
okay, all right, so,
Oh, we got updates.
bringing up the rear tonight, all right, last one. DRB 2024-14, the application of 150 to 168 East Lancaster Avenue for a 24-unit apartment building zoned under the Wayne Business Overlay District. Welcome, gentlemen.
Greg, is it already on here?
Looks like they're continuing what's further down the street.
The long anticipated one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Good evening. I'm Matt Johnson with Berger Development. We're the owner, developer of the property. Just to give you a little time frame of where we're at. So we're talking about 150, 168 Lancaster Ave, the corner of Luella and Lancaster. The rendering that's on the screen it's a little outdated, but it's very representational of what we are asking to move forward with. This is the rendering we've been showing for the past couple years that we've been working on this project. It doesn't show, like now there's street parking on Luella, like that's not shown here, right? So the building got a little bit smaller. But just as far as a representation of what you're gonna see in the elevations later on, I think it's fairly accurate. We've been in front of Planning Commission a couple times, had several neighbor meetings. We received final LD this past Monday. There's a couple conditions, right? Clean up the engineer's letters. Again, I'm with Berger Development, with the owner, and then I'll turn it over to Greg Shelton. He's with Architectural Concepts, and Bruce Weinsteiger with Architectural Concepts, are the architect of the building. So.
So the only difference in the rendering is the building width reduced.
So the building width reduced, and then we have elevations later on, and you'll see there are some slight tweaks to what was going on, but.
Because it's in this. It's in this one, right? The new size of the building's in here.
Hello, my name is Greg Shelton. I'm with Architectural Concepts. So I'll just walk through the different drawings that we submitted. This first drawing is a site plan of the existing conditions. So that is, it's at the corner of East Lancaster Avenue and Luella Avenue. And we're proposing to demolish the whole thing. These are some photographs of the existing building there. This down here at the bottom is along East Lancaster Avenue. This is along Luella Avenue here. And we're going to remove those buildings. This is a site plan of what we're proposing. We're proposing a 3-story building over a level of parking. So basically, we're just aligning the sidewalk with the existing. We're going to have 19 street parking spaces. This is a landscaping plan, so we're just proposing keeping the same type of trees along the street to match the streetscape. We're showing here 6 trees along East Lancaster Avenue. This is the lighting plan, and we plan on replacing the street lamps that are currently there with new street lamps that match the existing. And we will also have wall sconces along the retail. So this is the lower level of the building. This is the parking. The access to the parking is in the rear alley, and there are 28 parking spots available there. This is the first floor, which is accessible from East Lancaster Avenue. This is the retail. So this could be a single tenant or it could be multi-tenant. Access is from East Lancaster Avenue. The floor is shared with the lobby over here. This is the lobby for the residential floors above. And this is the floor plan for the second floor and third floor. It's residential, it's apartments. There's 24 apartments total, 21 bedroom apartments, 4 2-bedroom apartments. And the apartments in the back here are overlooking a green roof. And then this is the elevation we are proposing. It's 130 feet wide. We're introducing a vertical recess here to kind of break down the scale to make it fit in more with the streetscape. The materials we're using are mostly brick with some cast stone accents and some dark bronze accents with the cornice at the top and the aluminum storefront on the first floor. There are recesses there for the balconies, and we will have fiber cement siding for the finish, exterior finish there. This is the elevation along Luella, and the materials are mostly brick with fiber cement siding at the recesses for the balcony. We also have a recess here where to kind of break down the scale of the length of that. That's 100-foot wide there.
Will there be retail along Luella? Will there be any retail or shops along Luella?
There probably won't be access to the retail from Luella. It'll all be from East Town, just because of the way the slopes are.
Right.
So we'll have to.
I know that was always an issue with water and ice and snow.
Right,
too.
right.
It's kind of laid down there. So.
Right, right. There might be signage there, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
This is an elevation of the rear side. It's mostly fiber cement siding. We have brick along the first floor and along the stair tower. This area right here is a recess, which is where the green roof is. So there's a green roof down here in the apartments. overlook that area. This is the kind of the side alley. There's a building in front of that. You really won't see that, but we tried to break it up with some accents. And that's mostly fiber cement siding. And then these are the finishes, and we have actual.
Greg, you can use the handheld mic if you need to for that.
Oh, okay. Oh, thanks. So, yeah, the main finish that we're using is the brick. We have some accents of cast stone, and then the metal is a dark bronze, and that's for the cornice and for the aluminum storefront for the retail. And then we have paint colors. We're going to paint the fiber cement siding. There's the field, which is like the taupe kind of color, and then we'll have accents that are like the dark bronze.
How close the color match is that brick to the neighboring building just to the west of that? Did you try to match that, or?
We did want to be close to that. It is very similar. I haven't actually taken it out there and matched it.
But it's
Yeah.
it's in the ballpark, though?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
It's definitely in the ballpark, yeah.
Okay. All right, good.
Do you have any questions?
You guys good on the materials?
Yes.
Okay.
The west elevation with the 4 boxes, that's just a different color siding? I know nobody will ever see it, I just couldn't tell.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So basically, it's those 2 colors.
Got
The lighter one is the field, and then the darker one is the accent.
That's really just a driveway between those 2 buildings, correct?
Right,
Yeah.
correct, yeah. There's a,
Neighbor's driveway, right? Is it the AT&T's driveway?
It's not the AT&T, but it's our neighbor's driveway, yeah.
Is that building vacant still?
It is.
It is, yeah.
Little known fact about that building. If you guys look at the front of it, and look in, I think it's the left-hand corner, it was struck by lightning years ago. And you'll notice a patch job on the brick up there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it knocked off quite a few bricks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I said AT&T, I meant Bell Atlantic.
yeah.
Bell
I don't even
Atlantic.
think it's Bell, yeah.
It used to be a Bell building.
But,
It
yeah,
was a
years ago it was a
Bell
Bell.
building. It was a
You,
Bell
well, you would know that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
a Bell
right.
building.
I'm shocked that you're not putting, I can't believe you're not able to, or not able,
Colin.
putting a stair back where it is now on Luella. Like, you're able to get the sidewalk to work, which is great.
Sure, yeah, that was a big thing for us. We just wanted to match the grade of the existing road, right? And the fact that we didn't need to get access into the basement anymore, right? Because right now, that's the lower level of the
Right,
retail
there's that
store.
door there.
So because we're eliminating that access, we can kind of bury the building a little bit there.
Right.
And-
Yeah, I was looking at the grades, I was questioning them, but it does make sense.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay. Have some other stuff to walk us through, or?
No, we're not here asking for any signage approvals.
Right.
We would come back with the retail or any building signage later.
Sure,
but-
sure.
I guess at this point, are you still doing the canopies over front of the spots? It does seem like there are some that are on these elevations, I didn't know. Or the-
Yes, how far do those canopies project?
We were thinking 5 feet. 5 feet projections.
So right now, it looks like there's definitely the canopy over the entrance for the residential side.
There would be a canopy over each one of the storefront areas, with the exception, I believe, and Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, the exception of this inset one, or is there a canopy also?
I thought we were going to have a canopy there, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'd have a canopy over each one of the
Yep.
storefront areas.
Do you have any tenants lined up at this point, or?
We do not.
You do not, okay. I mean, you're showing, you know, I guess conceptually that you have some.
Oh, on that original rendering,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I get in trouble every time for the
Well, in
tenants we show
theory,
there.
Right now, you have it as open concept in there, right? Like, you have the ability to break it down how
Yeah,
you.
we have 10,000 square feet of retail. It can be broken down into 4 tenants, or it could be one larger tenant. I should say, the canopies on Luella, they would only project, it's less than a foot, right? Like, we're not projecting canopies out on Luella. There's no
What's the timeline for the demo and construction?
demo this summer, so June, July, and then break ground September, October, and hopefully 12-month build. So
It's got to be a tough demo job, being that close to the highway and everything.
it will be, and
Yeah.
it's been priced accordingly.
Yeah. I'm just curious, the neighbors behind you then, with the beautiful condominiums, I mean, has there been feedback or discussion with them, or how do they feel about it, or?
Sure. So we actually we have a good relationship with them now. We've had a lot of discussions about how the alley is going to be used and who's going to maintain the alley. It's essentially like it's private property. It's half ours, half theirs, right? And so we've essentially agreed to maintain the alley, or for the most part, maintain the alley. We're going to resurface the alley. So they're happy with that. So, and
The parking in the garage, that's for residential use, right?
that's correct.
So there's 28 spots in the garage?
Yes.
For 24 apartments?
Yes, we received a couple variances for this project. We received a variance for the setback on Luella. We received a variance with regards to parking, because we don't have enough parking for the residential and all of the retail, right? The retail alone would require 30 or 40 spaces.
Sure.
And then we also received variances for a rear yard buffer. When you have a commercial property next to a residential property, you need a 10-foot planting strip, but that would be in the alley, so it doesn't really work. But
Well, I think it looks good, and
Yeah, I
wish you
do
the best
too.
of luck.
Yeah, do we need to look further? You want to look a little closer into the landscaping and the trees and everything?
I looked at them.
You're
It's
good?
fine. Yeah, they're just planting a few trees. I mean,
Right.
they're street trees.
There's pretty much what's,
Just make sure you get boys for ginkgos. Princeton Century's a male ginkgo. You don't want a girl ginkgo.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
trust me, the girls make these disgusting fruits
Yeah.
that smell like puke.
They're good for your health, though.
They're good for your health if you can get around them.
But I know what it's like.
Oh, my God,
They
yeah,
have a
there
lot
were a
of them
few at
for you.
Villanova on the sidewalks over
Yeah.
That's why the Princeton Century is a male, but of course you don't know if they're all boys. Sometimes the girls do.
okay, so the one that's spec'd is actually like the male version?
They're dioecious, they're male and female plants. It's like a
Okay.
holly, you know, a male holly and a female holly. So only the girls get the red berries.
Okay.
It's very
But that
unusual.
drawing doesn't specify. It's
Well,
not-
Princeton Century is, yeah, that says Princeton Century, that's a male ginkgo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
so male is what you want.
Yeah, but make sure you get a Princeton Century.
Oh, I see,
Or
okay.
get some other kind of tree.
I have one more question on the rear elevation. There's these two, what appear to be like cylinder tubes, or I don't know what they are. I don't know if it's a print. Those?
Yeah, those are
Vents? or-
brackets,
Oh,
because there's an overhang there.
oh.
And we were trying to.
Purely decorative?
It's purely decorative.
So they're pretty angular. You can kind of see them in the side elevation also, this L shape. And it actually mimics what we're showing, supporting the canopies
Oh, gotcha.
on the front of the building.
Thank you.
So looking ahead, when you guys come back for your signage and everything, so on the plan here, that visual eyewear wine collection, it's kind of like the sign box is kind of already made. Those two storefronts, if you go that direction, they're going to have the same storefront. It's a little different on Luella and on the eastern end of the building. I don't know, do you guys like that, or would you want
I see
consistency?
what you said, I see what you said.
Yeah.
I missed your comment. I was
Well,
looking at the picture.
on- yeah, the visual eyewear and wine collection both have the same box.
And then these guys are standing
Oh.
above it.
In front of the window. You want the sign in front
I
of the
like how
window?
it's different, actually.
I do too. That's what I was.
Because you're using
Yeah.
that recess to break it, make it
Like
almost
these
look
are
like
Actually-
two separate buildings.
Right, then
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is different.
Yes, but sorry, at this point, like that part of the rendering, I think that you're looking at where the signage is inaccurate. Like the accurate version is what we're looking at on the screen right now, as opposed to how So I was saying that part of the rendering that you're looking at right now, because that rendering is a couple years old, that's no longer accurate. What is accurate is the rendering that's on the screen right now.
Oh, I got you.
So there's not actually different types of sign boxes anymore. It's kind of all in the same
Okay.
location.
They have less windows, too.
Mm.
It's like one of those things in a magazine, what's different in this?
You're right. Yeah. Lighting, you're going to be consistent with what's in town now on East Lancaster Avenue?
Yeah, so
Lights.
our approvals require streetlights per whatever the township asks for.
Right,
So,
same type?
yes.
Okay, you're not going to change it up, or, okay.
No, we'll match the Wayne standard.
You do have some sconces on this render, this elevation here. Is that,
We are showing building wall sconces, yes.
And we show the streetlight clamps too, on that elevation.
So you're saying 19 parking spaces, are you going to, is that what's there now? Are you going to be consistent with that, or are we going to lose any spots?
We're not losing any, it's exactly what's there today.
Okay, 19 for 19, okay. And how about sidewalks? You plan on doing anything descriptive, or some brick inlays, or anything, or?
No, we.
They got the demo pricing.
No, we weren't planning on doing anything additional with the sidewalk.
Yeah, I know there was a push years ago in town, cement sidewalks with brick inlays up against the curbing,
Sure.
just to be a little different. And some of the merchants who replaced your sidewalks did that, and I think it looks pretty good. I think you'll see some of that up on North Wayne Avenue. Something to consider.
Sure.
Yeah, if they go walk through town, you'll see that, so,
Okay.
yeah. I know it costs a little bit more, but,
One more question. What, do you know the setback from your facade on Luella from the townhomes facade? Do you know what that dimension is? Just for curiosity.
I don't know exactly. It looks.
25 feet? Or is that too much?
Sorry, you're talking about the face of our building?
The face of your
compared
building compared to the face of
other
the townhomes?
It's the townhomes, you mean the condos?
The condos, sorry.
Yeah. It looks to be about 10 or 12 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, we asked for that same build to line, but we.
Because the parking?
Well, yeah, I mean, keeping the parking on the well is huge, right? So,
how about like your dumpster? Where are you going to put that? Is that going to be in the building?
so we do have an indoor trash room, but I don't think it's going to be large enough for all the trash generated by both the residential and the retail. So currently today, there's dumpsters that are in the back alley, and I anticipate the same situation.
Okay. We do ask that like dumpsters be fenced in, so they're just not a plain old dirty dumpster like out in the open. So if you can put some shadow box fencing or whatever, I'm sure the neighbors would rather look at a fenced-in dumpster rather than a dumpster.
For sure. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you see a lot of them around town.
No, like, no, that was around the
Yeah,
middle.
right, there you go, like Mendel Hall, yeah.
We want granite.
And the air conditioning units on the rooftop, they'll all be not seen?
Correct.
Okay, they'll all be hidden mechanicals. So the rooftop, are people going to have access to the rooftop?
No.
No access, okay.
There is, yeah, so the plan that we're looking at right now is the level 2 plan. And Greg had mentioned that there's this green roof courtyard area that kind of creates the U shape of the building. We do have balconies from the apartments that overlook that, but we're not planning on residents being able to access that green roof area. So.
not even the ones that are on the same grade, no?
Correct. No, they would have a railing around their individual. The green roof, it helps with the stormwater and the type of tray systems you're putting in there. Like, you're not necessarily like planting grass. Like, it's so.
If you remember, we had the application down on East Lancaster Avenue, not too far from the American Legion. The fellow wanted to put access to the rooftop for his own pleasure and stuff, and it came before our board, and then it kind of died on the vine and stuff, so I think there's some issues possibly. Could be having like, what is that, smokers outside or something like that, or, yeah, just, okay. All right, so we don't want to get on that road. You know, the other question, and and it hasn't been brought up in a while, I guess, because we haven't had that many major construction jobs like this. But I remember it got brought up years ago, and like Land Rover came in with temporary fencing, and all the contractors want to put their banners on the temporary fencing. So I think we would ask any temporary banners or signage to go before the code enforcer for Radnor, and just have these guys put up all these signs for the next, 6, 8, 10 months, however long to build
Okay.
building, so.
So just the code enforcement, we're not coming back here for
I
a
think-
temp sign?
I would think Kevin would have to sign off on that, Mr. Kachansky, the code enforcer for Radnor.
Sure.
Yeah, just on how those guys put them up haphazardly and stuff, so,
Okay.
yeah.
So they don't have to come.
Well, they're gonna have
Just
to come
temporary
back.
sign.
Yeah, that would be considered temporary signage, and usually there's a 30-day window of temporary signage that is signed off by the code enforcer.
But any
Okay.
signage that is to last longer. than
Yeah, that's
30
you're gonna have to come back eventually as the
Once they
plan
have
moves
the
along.
tenants and stuff.
Yeah,
And I guess
No.
at some point you're gonna figure out what you're gonna call the building. Are you gonna call it Lancaster Residence?
You remember?
I don't know what we're going to call it yet.
Exactly. So at
but
some
yeah.
point you're gonna brand it as something,
were
and then
doing
you're
the-
gonna come
the
back and
building
get the
construction,
sign
they
for that
came
or
here
something.
Sure, we'll definitely be back for that. I think the question is temp fencing on the construction fence. So if that's going to last more than 30 days, are we coming back here or? Yeah.
No.
No,
It-
that's
it-
good.
Make
Okay.
sure that Kevin, just check that with Kevin.
Okay, we'll do that. Thank you.
yeah, those banners can kind of get trashy and
Yeah, yeah.
jumbled up, and
I
it's
know.
not a good look over there. It looks like
If you want an example of a good one, look at the one in Suburban Square right now.
Mm-hmm.
The property that they're building in Suburban Square, they put a nice construction fence up that actually shows a mock-up of, I think it's like a mock-up
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
that's
building
a good
and
idea.
stuff like that.
I think I saw that.
And that one actually does include some type of brands on it, I think, but
Okay.
that depends on that.
Okay, thanks.
Or just the simple black.
I'm just curious, what are issues in that parking garage or anything? I feel pretty comfortable, it's not gonna get flooded out, or?
The grades are tough. I mean, everything's kind of downhill. We're gonna, we'll have a sump pit in there for sure, in case we do run into any issues. But it's a concern, and it's something that we are looking at, so.
Sure. It's hard to stop water, huh? Yeah. What else, guys? Yeah, and just keep in mind too, and when the retailer, restaurants, whoever goes in there, we're gonna ask also for the address numbers to be displayed on the building. On
Sure.
I guess each unit will have its own address.
Yes.
Okay, so, yeah, it's something nice for a nice building. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah. Anything else? Comments,
No,
questions?
no.
You guys are good?
I like that it's brick.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm not into these white buildings.
Well, if you remember, we had somebody about 2 years ago came in and wanted to paint the brick,
I know.
right?
Yes.
And we said there's a lot of brick in Wayne, and
Mhm.
it's not gonna look good painted, and who knows if it's gonna hold up and stuff,
Yeah.
so.
That was by the post office, right?
Yes, exactly, yeah. So, no, bricks, can't go wrong with brick.
Yep.
Costly, but lasts a
We're,
long time.
yeah, we're local,
Right.
we're local, and we're gonna have the building forever. We
Yeah, that's
take
good.
a lot of pride in what it looks
Sure,
like, so.
sure.
Have you seen what they're done, right off thing? Like, they're redoing that building over on Pennsylvania Avenue, John's Market. They're repointing all
Oh,
the
yeah,
brick.
yeah, I saw that, yeah.
And the second floor, they put battens on it. even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks good. It's coming
Looks
along.
very good.
Yeah,
I have
Okay,
nothing
guys.
else for this applicant.
Neither do
okay.
I.
I think
it
the only
covered
thing
it.
we need to notify you is you need to come back for your signage eventually when you start getting tenants, but you're a
Sure.
long way down the road for that, so,
Correct.
yeah.
Do
And
you want
is there any other thing you guys can think of?
Don't think
Questions,
of that.
comments?
No, it looks good.
We're good?
We're
Any
good.
comments or questions for the board?
No.
Okay, who wants to take? You're on.
In the matter of DRB 2024-14, I move to approve the demolition of existing building and constructing a new building that has commercial use on the first floor and the two second and third floors used for residential use with 24 apartments to be approved.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Lots of luck, gentlemen, yeah.
All right, thanks a lot.
very much. Thank you. Colin, I think, seconded. Okay.
See, you're off to Florida next week. I won't be here next month
Oh, okay.
unless something changes in the